Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Solid Gold Studio. This is where it all happens, as you've seen before. And I'm doing this bulletin just to bring you some good news and some important information. Last weekend, if any of you subscribed to the channel, then you were the 3,000th subscriber. So thank you very much for that. And obviously a point of celebration. For some reason, the first 1,000 subscribers I seem to reach very quickly. And then for some unknown reason, this last 1,000 from 2,000 to 3,000 has taken forever. But we achieved it last weekend. So thank you all for reaching that milestone. And it is a milestone for me. One of my regular followers was speaking to me last week, I think it was, and saying that at the end of the video they'd tried to like it and couldn't. YouTube was not accepting the like. I don't know why that is, but in my knowledge, it doesn't matter when you like it throughout the program. You should be able to click on the thumbs up, and that's obviously what a like is, and you should be able to do that throughout the program. It actually helps the channel more if you like it early. Now I know I've not been telling you that at the end of the videos, but according to the regular weekly updates I get from YouTube themselves, apparently liking it early is better than liking it at the end. So maybe try that if you've had similar problems. The other thing, I've mentioned this a million times throughout the years, the Google algorithm, because of course YouTube's owned by Google nowadays. It's operated by AI, artificial intelligence, and it's constantly learning and changing the way it operates. I don't tend to watch a lot of normal television. In an evening when I've finished editing or finished doing what I'm doing, I tend to watch YouTube. And I've noticed in the past few months, it cleverly understands what my normal viewing pattern is. So for example, maybe as I start watching 8-9 o'clock at night, and I'll maybe straight away go to Times Radio and listen to what's happening around the world with Trump, with Ukraine, with the Middle East, etc., etc. And then maybe towards bedtime, 11 o'clock to midnight, I tend to watch music videos that literally calm me down, chill me out, ready to go to sleep. And I've noticed that when I'm on YouTube, the programs that it's giving me to choose from changes as that time period progresses. So it is damn clever, perhaps too clever, but it learns what your regular viewing habits are, and it'll alter them to suit that. So I just wanted to explain that to you, because sometimes when I'm standing out on the banks of the Tweed after a long day filming, my head doesn't think of all these things, so I wanted to pass that on to you. The other thing that's a bit puzzling, because I regularly watch the viewing numbers and how well each video is performed, episodes 1 and 2 of this current series have already topped 1,000 mark and seem to get 800 plus views in the first week or so. Some of the later episodes that I've just released in the last month are not even reaching 400, and that's even less than the Durham series, which has proved overall quite unpopular. Now, I don't understand why that is, because if I've got 3,000 followers, that tells me that all of those 3,000 followers are not watching what I'm producing. Otherwise, I'd have 3,000 views as soon as a program goes up. So, okay, I can understand that. People subscribe to the channel and then they forget about it and watch other people and so on and so forth, and don't necessarily cancel their subscription. So I can understand that. But what I do understand is that I seem to have about 300 to 400 regular followers. Those are people who are literally watching for the next release of an episode, and they're watching it within the first week of that program being posted. So okay, that's fair enough. But then some of these episodes are not achieving even those numbers, and I'm not understanding why. I guess I'm asking you to write me a comment, and you don't have to be negative. Just explain why a certain episode hasn't appealed to you in the same way that the others are. The main Tweed episodes seem to achieve around 600 views. I know if they're up there for a long time, they will top the 1,000 mark and so on and so forth. Much in the same way as the Northumberland episode has. A lot of those episodes are well in excess of 1,000 views now, but that's over 2 years ago. So, it's taken 2 years to reach that. From all the excitement that was generated before I started releasing the Tweed, I would have expected 700 or 800 views on each episode, as it was with the first 2 episodes, to continue all the way through. And all I'm saying is that hasn't been the case, and I'm puzzled as to why that is. So if you can answer that question for me, it would help me to engineer the right programs that you all want to see. There's no point. There's an awful lot of work goes into these, weeks and weeks and months, as I've told you many times before. Whilst I enjoy doing this, there's no point in busting a gut if it's not going to get the views. So I'm asking you once again, please write a comment. You don't have to be negative or derogatory. Just explain why a particular episode hasn't appealed to you maybe as much as another one has. And therefore, I can then get the full picture and organise my shooting schedule accordingly. So last night, I was actually watching my own YouTube channel. I wanted to watch episode 1 back from the start, because obviously I'm in the Tweed journey. I'm now between Dryborough and Roxburgh in the last 1/3 of the river. And I just wanted to look back at the start of the series and compare what I'm producing now to how it was at the beginning. And to cut a long story short, I was a little bit unhappy, actually. I found it confusing. And one guy wrote to me right at the beginning and said that there was a mistake in there, that I'd stated that the source of the Tweed was in the Lowther Hills, when in fact he was right. The Lowther Hills are to the west of the A74 motorway, and the Tweed actually rises in the Moffat Hills. So when I watched it again, I thought, no, I can't let that sit as a mistake. Now, when this happened for other reasons, copyright reasons with the Northumberland series, I took down 5 or 6 episodes and I lost all the viewer numbers and the comments. So I'm not going to take the original episode down, because I'll lose all the comments, the likes and the views, and that will hammer my channel performance seriously. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to superimpose a new thumbnail deterring people from watching that. But also, to me, it wasn't clear, and there was a lot of irrelevant stuff in there. I mean, for about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm telling everybody about how the format of this new series was going to be filmed, and by now you've all got that gist of and the pattern of how it is. So I've removed that. Anyone new to the channel won't understand anyway, because they're not comparing it to anything else. So I've removed that altogether. It's a lot cleaner, a lot simpler, and it's obviously a little bit shorter. So I would like you all, please, when you've got a moment, watch it again and tell me what you think to the improvement. You don't have to do it immediately, but as I said, when you get time, that would be extremely helpful. And as I said, there'll be a new thumbnail on the old one, deterring people from watching that and directing them to watch this new version. I don't need to do that with any of the other episodes. I'm quite happy with the way they are. It's just that first one. It was shot over several visits to the source of the Tweed, cobbled together out of different things, and when I started editing it, I realised I'd missed a bit, and therefore it was very disjointed and not fluent. All of that has been amended and cleaned up, and it's a really good watch, I think, and up to the standard of these later episodes. So that's pretty much all I needed to tell you. As per usual, thank you to Natalie, recently making a financial contribution all the way from France, very gratefully received. To all the others that are helping the channel in all the different ways, it's all gratefully received, and as always, I'm always in your debt and rely on that support, because without it, the channel just wouldn't be worth running. So, all of that being said, I'll say goodbye for now, wishing you all the very best of health and all the best that life has to offer. And I'll see you all next week in the next episode. So until then, bye for now.